And this morning, residents in East Palestine, Ohio, are doing everything they can to get the attention and support of state and federal leaders months after that toxic train derailment. Ohio Governor Mike DeWine has not declared an emergency declaration to open federal resources for residents. And now residents are showing up at Ohio State House to demand more help for their families as well as their businesses. Investigative reporter Rich McHugh has been covering the impacts the train derailment has had on East Palestine for months now. He joins us now with more. Rich, you and I have both spent a lot of time in East Palestine. What are things like there on the ground now more than 4 months later?
Hey, good morning, Marky. So as you know, the people of East Palestine are fed up. They're fired up. They're tired of all the political finger pointing, and they're demanding some federal help. They say they need help not in a month, not in 6 months. They need help now.
They came with one request for their governor, Mike DeWine: declare East Palestine a disaster. For these residents, it's been 132 days since the derailment and toxic release of 116,000 gallons of vinyl chloride into their sky. And many say they are sick, diagnosed with the chemical in their system.
We have children with nosebleeds, ear bleeds. We're starting to see seizures in adults and in children.
Independent testing found cancer-causing dioxins in the water, the soil, even inside homes.
I worked 35 years as a union bricklayer to have my piece of the American pie. I still visit my home daily just to manicure the yard and look after things the way that I knew my grandfather would want done.
They say state and federal officials are ignoring them. In February, President Biden has vowed to come, but has not.
Any plans for President Biden to visit East Palestine?
I don't have anything to share on a planned visit for the president to Ohio.
That same month, Governor DeWine said the president pledged anything you need.
The president called me and said, anything you need. I have not called him back after that conversation. I will not hesitate to do that if we're seeing a problem or anything, but I'm not seeing it.
Governor DeWine should declare the emergency due to the fact that the president said he'll sign it. So
simple as that.
It's simple as that. No politics.
NewsNation asked Governor DeWine for comment. Hours later, he sent a letter to FEMA asking for an extension to declare a disaster, effectively kicking the can down the road.
There are people stuck in their homes that are still sick and can't get out.
If Governor DeWine declared an emergency and the Biden administration and FEMA approved it, federal aid would flow into East Palestine. But if FEMA were to deny it, residents would still be left without federal aid. The governor's office tells NewsNation that they've asked FEMA repeatedly, but says they keep telling us no, that East Palestine is ineligible because FEMA is primarily a property damage program and there's no property damage.
What's your message for FEMA?
My message to FEMA is we're United States citizens. Somebody needs to take care of us. Like, we've been left in the hands of Norfolk Southern, who's not taking care of us.
Now, the governor would not speak with us on this issue. I asked FEMA if the governor declares this disaster, would they approve it? They would not answer that specific question. Adrienne?
Rich, I could not find any detailed reporting from the EPA, though they have talked about in their, again, limited information that they provided online, that there was no contamination found in the drinking water near this area and in the soil and the plants. What do you know about that?
Well, it's very confusing, I'll say that for sure. I mean, they post all the results online. They were the ones who said after 3 days after the controlled burn, it was safe to come back inside. They say they have not found dioxins at a concerning level. Independent testing has. So it's hard to know what's actually true, Adrienne.
Yeah, well, obviously the EPA has been doing this for a long time. It is a government agency. We'll find out a little bit more if they plan on doing further tests. Thank you, Rich. We appreciate you being there for us, and I'm sure the people of East Palestine do as well.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.